and it's got to have this negative cost correlation. There's lots of examples of that in lots of markets, but I hadn't thought about it in this context. Sir. Yes, sir. This gentleman here. Yeah.
Mr. Spence, before coming here, I've read very attentively a book, The Next Convergence. You devoted a lot of space to China, to India. You wrote something about Brazil, but Russia is not mentioned at all in the book. Why?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know what to make of Russia. David Rubenstein, who is one of the co-founders of the Carlyle Group, it's a big private equity firm, was asked by a McKinsey partner, this is on the internet if you want to see it, in a kind of video interview. This partner said, well, you've talked about China and India and Brazil, same question. What about Russia? And David got this funny look on his face, and he said, well, he said, we've opened an office in Russia twice, and we've closed it twice. So, I mean, I don't have any idea how the current, situation will evolve. We're clearly kind of coming apart in multiple dimensions. This vision that Europeans had that we'd all be Europeans is not apparently shared by the current leadership in Russia. And there's conflict in Asia over, islands and some other things. So there's a little bit of a more than a little bit of a worrying cloud hanging over this. It's got nothing to do with economics. But economically and in business terms, Russia is just still too complicated an environment to navigate in. And so it is a combination of way too low economic diversification, and that's partly the result of some version of the Dutch disease. The natural resources are a powerful influence, and you have to powerfully counteract them if you're going to generate a lot of employment. And that doesn't seem to be the highest item on the agenda for, a business environment that's kind of open and friendly from the point of view of investment. There are people operating there, but you hear stories all the time about people pulling out, and there's some people who just won't go in under these conditions. So I think Russia, taking the optimistic view, has a fairly long, a noticeable distance to go to kind of become a place that is fully integrated in terms of sort of knowledge flows, investment flows, and other things into the economy. But in principle, there's nothing in the way. I mean, there's a ton of human resources. Many of them, emigrate. At the end of the Cold War, that was widely viewed as the sort of center of excellence in software engineering. And the story that went with that was that the hardware was so bad, the software had to be a lot better than everybody else's. I mean, that was kind of flippant. But so Russia has a lot of potential, and much of it's unrealized, I would say, economically now. You're kicking me out? Okay. Thank you very much.
The one thing I've learned from coming to these Rimini conferences is that Italians expect sessions to end on time. So I apologize for going a few minutes over, but once again, join with me in thanking Professor Spence for his talk, and I declare the lecture over.
It's the center.